Hi all, it's Friday, this is my YouTube channel and that means guess what? It's time for another review, and as you can see by this face, I'm doing a review on Child's Play. So yeah, I've just been to see Child's Play, which is the reboot of the, I think, 1980 horror movie classic slasher, featuring a killer doll named Chucky. This movie, up until a certain point, if any of you know what the Child's Play films are like, then you'll know that how stale and how heavily reliant on comedy they were getting onto the later films. But this film brings back the horror aspect, and it's a proper slasher. Like, it plays on the tropes of classic slashers so well, and everything about this movie was surprisingly really good, because a lot of people going into this movie thought, you know what, it'll be alright. It's not great though, because it's a reboot, and reboots normally aren't that great, as proven by Pet Sematary. However, this reboot was really good. Mark Hamill voices Chucky, and that name may sound familiar, because Mark Hamill is the same guy that plays Luke Skywalker in Star Wars, and they even managed to fit in a nod to Star Wars in it by the very early on in the movie when Andy gets Chucky, he wants to name him Han Solo. So there's a nice little reference to Mark Hamill in that movie. It's beautiful. The gore in it, don't get me wrong, the gore is just, it's gory. Shane's death, if for any of you are wondering, Shane is the mother's boyfriend, and he dies pretty early on in the movie, like half an hour in, something. But his death in particular stood out for me, because it's one of those deaths that makes you go, ow! Like, you're watching it and it just makes you go, ow! It did it for me. I was sitting in the cinema going, oh no, ow! And yeah, it's just beautifully crafted, beautifully made. The gore in it is exceptional. It's just, I was really impressed with this movie in particular because of how surprising it was. Because up until it, I was with the majority of the people that did think it was going to suck and did think it was going to be a bit meh. But this film was honestly, it was a really good one, honestly. I was really happy and enjoyed this one. But yeah, I think I'm going to wrap it up. I don't think there's anything else I can really talk about in this. I mean, I could talk about the fact that whilst it plays on the slasher tropes and it does it really well, it also adds influences of comedy into this. Like when Chucky is killing the people, it is quite funny. And they even managed to reference loads of other horror movies in there as well. For example, the Texas Chainsaw Massacre 3, I think they managed to put reference in there. And it's just so funny. It was beautifully made. It's a great slasher. So I highly advise you watch this one, because if you're a fan of the horror genre and you're a fan of Child's Play, you'll like this one. But yeah, I think that is about going to wrap it up. I don't think there's anything else I can talk about Child's Play. I really enjoyed it. So yeah, out of 10, I'd give this movie what we're going to say? I'd say 7, because although, don't get me wrong, it's a brilliant slasher. It plays on the same tropes that you've seen over and over, so that's why I think it deserves a 7. Because even though it's reignited the Child's Play franchise and it's done it really well, a 7 is where it's at, because it has a lot of the same similarities to other slashers. Other good slashers, I mean. Not other bad slashers, other good slashers. So yeah, 7 out of 10 for the Child's Play reboot. Good movie, but it uses a lot of the same tropes that you've seen in other slashers before. But yeah, apart from that, I think I'm done. So until next Friday, where I will be bringing you a surprise 2 reviews, you'll find out what they are next week. But until then, I've been Connor. This has been Film Review Friday on Child's Play. I will see you all next week. Ta-ra!